So I have a funny question, but I want y'all to be honest. As a little kid, how many of y'all were afraid of the dark?
Okay.
Okay, she was just brave.
Those
Those two might be lying to us.
Still afraid of the dark.
How many of y'all are still afraid of the dark? Okay. Everybody else is just lying to us. So, it's known that little kids can be afraid of the dark. We've seen like horror movies, we've heard scary stories, blah, blah, blah. Universally, mankind does not love the dark. Almost every kid goes through a phase where they need night lights. I still have a night light. It's my little sun lamp. It's like really cute. I like saw it on TikTok and I bought it. But I still need my night light. Even some adults get scared and put a little pep in their step after they turn off the lights. I know my dad still wants me to turn off all the lights for him, and I have to make my run around, and I go a little faster once all the lights are off because I'm still scared. We don't love being in the dark. The fear of what could be out there, the random sounds, the mysterious vibes, we are not designed to be nocturnal creatures. I know some of y'all stay up past midnight, but that's not what we were made for. We're not designed for that. Spiritually speaking, though, darkness holds danger. Why do y'all think darkness holds danger?
Kidnappers.
Okay.
I mean, it is a good reason.
Okay,
I mean,
yeah.
it is, but spiritually speaking.
Yes, spiritually. Sin?
Bad.
Okay. You can't, okay,
What'd
I
you
really
say?
like that.
What did you say? I didn't
She
hear.
said you can't see where you're going.
Yeah.
It's spiritual
That's
sense,
why I'm
okay.
up in my room.
Okay, anybody else? Why do y'all think that spiritual darkness holds danger for us?
You can't see your way to God.
Okay, you can't see your way to God. Okay, so John chapter 3, 19 through 21 says, "This is the judgment, the light has come into the world, and people loved darkness rather than the light because their deeds were evil. For everyone who does evil hates the light and avoids it, so his deed may not be exposed. But anyone who lives by the truth comes to the light, so that his works may be shown to be accomplished by God." So the people who stay in darkness is because their works were evil. Sin loves to hide in darkness because that is where power comes from. As long as a struggle or habit is concealed in darkness, it continues to grow. As long as you can stay convinced that your issue is shameful, that you can never tell anyone about it, you'll be fully controlled by it. What was the longest secret that y'all have kept? When you tell a secret, does it feel like a weight is being lifted off your shoulders? I know for me as a kid, I had so much pent-up secrets that I would spill it to all of my family. I would be like, yeah. And then I would feel so much better after because I would like feel that energy and I would just like, oh, I want to tell them. I'm also ADHD though.
Now you're talking about like something happened to you.
Like
and-
mentally, do you feel like a weight being lifted? If somebody tells you, hey, keep
I mean,
this a secret.
you wouldn't feel a weight lifted. You'd feel guilt if somebody told you, please don't tell the secret, and then you'd say anything. You would feel a guilt. But I think what you're
I understand what you're
asking is if you have something and you feel like you can't talk to anybody about it, and so you're holding it in, and the weight that comes off your chest when you actually talk to
Yeah.
somebody. Is that?
Let's say like Holly's,
Yeah. There.
yeah, let's say like Holly's cheating on a test. Holly's always a bad example. She's cheating on a test, and I'm like, girl, you can't cheat on this test. And I go tell the teacher, and I'm like, I feel so much better because I know like nobody's cheating on this test, and I know it's gonna be fair for everybody. That's what I mean by it, like telling a secret of like somebody doing something bad. Like it feels so much better to get that out.
Tattletale.
Yeah. So Proverbs 28:13 says, "The one who conceals his sins will not prosper, but whoever confesses and renounces them will find mercy." What do y'all think that means? Why do you think it's going to hurt us if we conceal our sins? Conceal means like hide.
You can't ask God. You don't ask God for forgiveness if you hate.
Okay,
I
we
was
try to
just
hide it from
fixing to
God.
ask if y'all remember your hand from Sunday night. I don't know what that
So yeah, we can like try to like hide it from God. So ultimately, holding and dealing with our sin alone hurts us. It's easy to feel shame and regret and let it control us. Maybe you've been there, or maybe you are there right now. We all have that little voice that screams to never tell anyone what's going on because we're like, what will they think? Or what if I'm being judged?
What will happen?
Yeah. That is sin hollering in your ear for its own pleasure and gain, because the devil knows if that was brought into the light, if you told someone you trusted, it would lose its power instantly. Once things aren't secret anymore, it's amazing how the power it once held over you vanishes. I know we all have like different aspects and different ways of like healing, but who all here has like a hard time going to people to like talk to them? I know I have a hard time doing it. Y'all find it easy to talk to other people about it? Oh, you're raising your, okay, it was just a little small raise hand. But yeah, it's like really hard to like, I guess, go to somebody because you have to like emotionally like confront yourself and your feelings, and then you feel vulnerable in front of somebody else.
Who likes feeling vulnerable?
Oh, that's fun. Why do y'all think it's hard for y'all to go to other people?
This is things in my head of going what might happen, like all the different possibilities if I tell them.
Okay,
That's good.
so like your anxiety,
Yes.
Maybe because you're scared that they'll try to judge you.
scared of being judged. Okay. Anyone else? Okay.
We're
Yeah.
all agreeing with all of that.
They're probably agreeing, just silently agreeing. Like, go on, Maddie, just finish. But no, we can have anxiety with that. We can also be afraid of being judged. But the devil doesn't want us to come out with our sin, because ultimately the power over that, it vanishes as soon as we get help. And one of the ways of getting help is going to other people.
Just asking for help.
Yeah.
That's right.
So James 5:16 says,
Come with me.
"Therefore confess your sins to one another and pray for one another, so that you may be healed. The prayer of a righteous person is very powerful in effect." So it's basically telling us that we're going to heal better if we go to other people, if we're all praying together for each other. Why do y'all think it is good for everyone to like get help?
I don't know.
People can be like very anxious, and that can make them spiral and get worse. That's also another reason to get help. So it is very good for us to get help. I know some people go to therapy, or some people like talk to someone, but it's always good to make sure that we're like always mentally okay. We all need people in our lives checking on us. We all need reliable people. We have been talking about accountability partners these past few weeks. I know the 2 new people, they don't know about that. But can somebody, you don't know what that is? I was just about to ask who could explain that to me. Can somebody explain what an accountability partner is?
It's basically when you have like a friend or just somebody to remind you to pray, read the Bible.
Yeah, okay, let's say I was an alcoholic. That's the first thing I can think of. Let's say I was an alcoholic, and Holly is you're so shocked. It's an example.
My grandma's a smoker, there you go.
Yeah, but no, I'm not actually. But let's say I was, and Holly is my accountability partner. Okay, I have a hard time with trying not to drink. I'm trying to get better. Let's say I haven't drank in like 2 weeks, and today it's been a rough day, and I drank today. Holly would come to me, and she'd be like, "Hey Maddie, how's the drinking been going? Like, are you doing good? Staying on the right path?" And I'd be like, no, I failed today. So basically the accountability partner is to help you with whatever you're struggling with. It's to put it out in the light, for 1, to lose its power, and 2, to remind you so you get help. So it could also be with like dealing with lust, dealing with lying, not reading your Bible, not praying. It could be like cursing. It could be all of those things that somebody can ask, "Hey, how are you doing with this, blah, blah, blah." It can be like once a day, once a week, like just checking on every so often. But that's basically what an accountability part is. And we've been talking about that for the past few weeks, and talking about how I would recommend y'all getting one. And before y'all came, I texted y'all to make sure y'all had one picked out, because we're gonna do a little something at the end. But for my 2 new people, I want y'all to be thinking about that and think about who you would like want to be as your accountability partner. Yeah, but that's what an accountability partner is, and we all need reliable people for that. A huge part of having an accountability partner is having someone close to you who knows what's really going on in your life and can ask tough questions, because those tough questions require us to confront tough feelings. And so we need somebody who can ask those questions. It's not about judging you or making you feel bad for what you did. It's about keeping those hidden parts of your life out in the light so they can't gain control in the darkness. So a lot about having an accountability partner is confronting. Do y'all have a hard time like confronting y'all's feelings? I know one way that I cope is by like pushing down my feelings and I like
Bottle
hide
it
them.
up.
Yeah, I bottle it up. That's one way that like works for me. But this is basically saying that you shouldn't do that. And so that is something that I'm also working on.
Bottling up is not good.
Yeah, bottling it up is not a good thing. Every time you bottle it
It
up,
makes
it's
it
always going to
worse.
come out. Yeah, it's going to make it worse. So Proverbs 12:26 says, a righteous person is careful in dealing with his neighbor, but the ways of the wicked lead them astray. What do y'all think that means? Okay, I'm gonna break that down for y'all. It's basically the wicked leads them astray. It's hanging with the wrong crowd, being by the wrong people. How many of y'all ever had a friend group where you knew like they weren't good people to hang around? Yeah, I've had a friend group. They were like trying to get drugs, trying to like, drink and everything, and it was like not my lifestyle. So it's basically saying we need to stay away from the wicked people, and the righteous people will also lead us to a good path too. So the people you choose to surround yourself with, your inner circle, your accountability partner, will affect your life in some of the most profound ways imaginable. The people we surround ourselves with can't help but point our lives in certain directions. Do y'all think, with the friends y'all have now, do you think they have like a big influence over you? You do? What do y'all think they've like changed about you? I know mine, whenever I was in middle school, and my friends, they had an influence on me. They made me more accepting of sin that I knew that I was against, that I knew that God didn't want me to accept too. So that's how they influenced me. But friends can influence us in many different ways, and that's why our crowd matters. So it's important to choose carefully for who your partner is. While we get an accountability partner, it's important to make sure we ourselves stay accountable. How do y'all think we can stay accountable for ourselves? How do you think you can stay, instead of me, remember, alcoholic, instead of me having an accountability partner for Holly, okay, she's my accountability partner because I'm an alcoholic, instead of her helping me, how can I be accountable for myself as someone who's like dealing with that?
Seeking help.
I can seek my own help, okay, yeah.
Staying out of situations that you know that that's gonna be there.
Yeah, okay. So those are all,
So you're an alcoholic now?
it was my example a few minutes ago. No, I'm not an alcoholic.
Oh my
I
God, I
said
didn't
that
know this was a
10 times.
problem.
But basically, a way of being accountable, I have a little chart for y'all. I thought this was really good. Oh, it's on my phone. It's okay. I'll get it. Okay, so have y'all ever met somebody with like a victim mindset? Like somebody who's like, oh, poor me. Don't just they don't hurt. But we have those people down at the bottom, and then we have people accountable at the top, and then there's this good little section in the middle that, oh, life happens. Miss Jennifer, give me a situation in your life that you had to like bounce back off, something like meaty that happened.
Something meaty?
Meaty.
Oh gracious, it happened in my life and I had to get out of it.
Yeah,
Okay.
get out of it. Something bad.
Something bad, huh? Whew.
You could have chosen to
Okay.
be a victim or accountable.
Oh my gracious.
So that's your example
Yes.
of life happens. So
So tell me,
Life-
where was I?
life happens. She smoked a cigarette. She wanted to try something new. She fell in a sin. She knew it wasn't good. Life happened.
Well, also
She
people
could-
kept telling me, "Oh, you're getting tissues," and so I'm like, "No, I'm not. Let me go smoke this cigarette." So
Okay,
you tried
sadly,
to prove
I
wrong.
feel like you're going to fall under the victim with some of the stuff you said.
That's horrible.
But let me explain. Okay, we're gonna start with victim. So this is what she was doing. She was avoiding reality.
I was.
Oh, I don't have a problem. This isn't bad.
I might
I don't
have
need to
been.
think about it. It's basically like pushing it under the rug. And then fighting reality
And I was.
is
You don't need to tell me.
like it's kind of the same thing, but avoiding is more like not thinking about it, and fighting, I guess, would be
Shove
more
it
like
down,
this
push it
isn't a
away.
problem.
Yeah.
It'd be like trying to fight like what you know is right.
Yeah, I was definitely there.
3 is blaming it. Let's say her sister and her got in trouble, and she'd be like, "Oh, Jessica, her sister, it was her fault. She's the one who bought all the stuff." And she was like, "Do this with me," and I was like, "Okay." So that would be an example
I
of
didn't do that though.
blame.
I
You
didn't
felt
blame it
like
on
right
my
here.
sister.
You fell between 1 and 2. You didn't get that.
But I do remember saying that age-old thing. Everybody's doing it.
Did you?
So-
Okay, so you blamed it
On society.
the generation.
It's society's fault.
Okay,
It
so
was.
we did go a little lower.
Yeah.
Okay, and then we have personal excuses. So, like she said, whenever she was trying that out, she said she blamed it on like society. That could be one of those, but another one could be like, oh, my dad was going through something. Oh, my mom just got into a wreck.
Something's going on. It's just
Yeah, something going on in your personal life that's like, well, I'm just trying to cope. Like, this should be fine.
Like what we did.
Number 5 is lowest of lows. This is where you're giving up. You realize everything, and you're like, well, I'm just gonna wait and hope this gets better. And it's kind of like, I'm not gonna do anything about it. Maybe one day I'll stop smoking. Maybe not. She luckily did not get there. So this is the victim mindset ongoing. Then we have the accountable mindset. This is the things that we can do in our lives. So alcoholic again. One, I'm gonna be the accountable one. One, I'm going to seek reality. I'm gonna be like,
Is that right?
I have a problem with this.
I'm gonna be like,
I don't
what am
see
I
it.
like? What am I really doing here?
What's my goal here?
Yeah, what's my goal here? Then I'm going to acknowledge reality. I'm gonna be like, okay, this is bad for me. I shouldn't be drinking this much.
Yeah, I eventually got there.
Yeah.
Right.
Number 3, that's gonna be hard. You're gonna own it. You're gonna be like, it's gonna be set in stone. This is bad.
We need to stop
It's
this.
basically not that fighting. The fighting mindset is really what's gonna get y'all with any like accountability thing that you're like struggling with. 4 is taking steps to find a solution. So like with Holly being my accountability partner, I would text her and be like, hey girl, I'm like really struggling with this again, and I really need help. And she'll be like, I got you. I'm sorry I haven't been checking on you like a good friend. It's been like a few years, but I got you.
Few years.
And she'll start
A few years, or from 2 weeks to a few years.
Yeah, so that's my solution is accountability partner. Then 5, we would put that plan into action. We would do that plan. So this is the step from victim to accountable. So ways we can help ourselves. We can seek reality, acknowledge reality, own it, find solutions, plans, and actions. So it's really hard to continue to do this by ourselves. So getting an accountability partner is really important.
So yeah, plan and action, people. Whether it's pornography, whether it's drugs, whether it's a relationship that's not healthy for you, because those can be addictive too. Sometimes if you have a bad relationship and you keep on going back to the same guy, oh, he changed for me. No, he didn't change. He didn't change. He's still doing the same thing he's been doing. So you gotta have that plan in action. Plan in action. Don't kick off the whole
What if the plan
spirit.
fails?
Well, that's
You
why
gotta
accountability partner. So can anybody
Start over.
answer me on why it is good to have an accountability partner?
They can keep you on track and like try to make you stop doing it.
That's right.
Yeah, okay. One more person who wants to tell me why it's good. Hazel.
So you're not dealing with your struggles by yourself.
So So you're not dealing with your struggles by yourself. Those are all good answers. Now we have a fun little thing that I've been waiting for y'all to fill out.